I will think about it
And then you'll have a steak. He says, oh, look,
while I'm having a steak.
you acknowledge that animals can suffer.
They do, yes.
They don't want the knife.
Did they tell you that?
Huh?
Did they tell you
I give
that?
them the benefit of the doubt. In the same way I'd give a baby the benefit of the doubt. They can't tell me that either. So, providing you know they're sentient.
Yeah, but a baby and an animal are two different things. You know that.
course, yeah.
So it's a false equivalence for you to compare the two.
No, I'm not. But you said, did they tell you that? And just because they didn't tell me that doesn't mean they want to die. A baby can't tell me that either. So the fact that they can't tell me is irrelevant to the question of whether.
So
it's
what
okay.
is your view about abortion then? Because you brought in a baby. What's your view about abortion?
So I believe that as soon as sentience arises, it becomes unethical to abort a child.
But even if it's not, even when it doesn't have this ability, or like you said, when it becomes sentient, does it not have the potential of life?
It does, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So that is a human life, by the way.
That's the potential of a human life, yeah.
Do you know there are more than 200,000 abortions in this country every year?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there you go. Now, to me, the human life is more value than an animal life.
Sure.
And I'm sure it's the same for you.
Yeah.
Yeah? So I would rather you see you with a sign saying stop abortion than saying you should be a vegan. You see, because it's at the end of the day, it's what you value more. Because to me, it seems like you have misplaced your priorities. That's what it seems like.
Okay, so the thing is,
For me, if there are 200,000 abortions, or rather 200,000 potential lives been basically extinguished on a yearly basis, only in this country,
yeah.
then can you imagine the global scale of that?
I don't think stopping potential of life is necessarily a bad thing. Like, I don't think that using condoms is immoral because we're stopping
No,
potential.
condoms is different.
No, but it's a potential.
Condoms
It's a
doesn't.
potential
Wait.
for life.
Condoms is completely different. To a mother who has already conceived a child. You know, when that mother
Conception,
carries
yeah,
that
yeah,
child
yeah.
in her stomach, she doesn't call it a fetus. Yes, she calls it my baby.
Okay.
Okay, this is quite personal. So when you were in your mother's womb, she most likely called you my baby. Yes, you were a potential life
Yeah.
at that point. Imagine if she extinguished you before you had the ability to think and grow up. Yes, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing today, right?
No, I wouldn't.
Because you're doing a good thing, basically imparting morality, which is absolutely good, fundamentally, regardless of your faith or the lack thereof. But for me, what's important is the priority. Yes, I see misplaced priorities.
I understand that, but
Yeah.
I'm saying you don't need to value a chicken as equal to a human in order not to enslave and harm the chicken. You just need to believe that chicken's life is more important than your taste buds. That's all it is. You're choosing between an animal's life and your taste pleasure. It's not between an animal and a human.
No, but that's what you brought up, not me, remember?
No,
You brought up the example of the baby.
Because
I would not ask a baby, I would not, just like a baby wouldn't tell me it hurts.
Yeah.
Yes, an animal would.
Yeah.
So
So
it was you're the one who made the false equivalence,
No,
you know?
because you suggested that because an animal can't communicate with me, it's okay to exploit them. And I'm saying, well, some humans can't communicate
No, I
with
didn't
me
say
either.
that.
That's
I
what
didn't
you
say- I didn't
suggested.
say the animal
okay,
can't
that's
communicate.
that's not what you said.
Yeah.
So how
What
do we
I'm saying is
how
that-
do we morally justify that?
Yeah.
Killing an animal?
What I'm saying is that there are many situations. For example, if you look in the early history of man,
Sure.
yes, before they become hunter-gatherers. Okay, when they were just hunting animals. Yes, it was basically for survival.
Yeah.
Do you realize that if they employ the same principle as you, where they say, oh no, we're not going to hunt that animal because we're going to hurt it, do you think they would have survived?
No. But I think just because we needed to do something in the past,
Yes.
that doesn't make it moral.
But
to
you
say
see the
so.
principle I'm talking about, the
No.
potential of life. A mother during the time of the Stone Age period, yes, or the Metal Age, or whatever age you go, yes, the value of the child has remained the same consistently for human beings, yes? Well, there are few crazy exceptions where they sacrifice children to their so-called idols and all that. That's different. But I'm talking about most
But to go back to
likely
your
in
previous-
history, we have always valued human life before anything else.
I'm saying you don't need to value an animal as equal to you, not to hurt the animal. And to go back to your other point, though, about the fact that our ancestors needed to survive.
Yeah.
Just because something was a necessity in one context, that doesn't morally justify it in other contexts.
I know
when
it's still
not
today.
necessary.
It's still very much
So,
today.
for example,
yeah.
I think violence to humans is wrong. But if someone attacks me and I'm violent to them, that can be justified. But that doesn't make
That's
it.
a different
but
thing.
That doesn't
No,
justify
that's
it.
that's
that
a
doesn't
different thing.
justify it in other contexts.
My friend,
So,
look, should I tell you why it's not the same thing? When somebody attacks you,
Yeah.
you have the right to defend yourself.
Okay.
You can defend yourself.
Yeah.
Can that baby who is in the womb defend itself?
That's not what I'm talking
No,
about.
but that's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to tell you the difference between the value of human life
Yeah.
versus an animal
And I'm
life.
saying you don't need to value humans as equal to you, not to hurt the animal.
They're not equal. They'll never be equal.
I'm saying
it's
you
the
don't-
higher status of
Yes,
value,
and I'm saying
obviously,
this is an
for the human
this is an
beings.
irrelevant point.
No, it's
because-
not.
No, look. You do not need to value. If I have a dog here, and I have a knife in my hand, I could stab the dog. I don't need to believe the dog is equal to me, not to stab the dog.
I don't think that's what he was saying. Actually, what he was saying was before
Priorities. It's a matter of priorities. That's all I'm saying.
For example, abortion.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm not telling you need to become an activist and start defending animals. I'm saying the obligation is to not cause unnecessary suffering.
The question is, why are you not an activist for the babies who get eliminated every year? On thousands of them, hundreds of thousands
I
of them.
value sentience, and I understand if you come from an area where you value life from conception, then of course it's more.
When I'm saying human life above everything else, that's what I'm saying. Do you understand what I'm saying? Compared to everything else, and that's why I kept saying your priorities are misplaced. Now, for example, if you brought in animals, you brought in an example of a dog,
Yeah.
and okay, what if you had pets? What if a vegan had a pet? What would you feed it?
Well, it depends on the pets. A dog can be.
I'm talking about the dog and a cat,
dog
obviously.
can live on a vegan diet.
Oh, so you're going to be abusive to the dog now?
What's your definition?
Just because of your
wait,
principles.
Wait. What's your definition of abuse?
Abuse means, by default, a dog is a carnivore.
Omnivore.
Well, omnivore, okay, but not a vegan. Do you agree?
But so.
For you to feed it only vegan food, that would be abuse. Do you not agree?
No, but is there abuse if there's no harm?
No. Abuse means, you know what's abuse, right?
I'm asking-
Whatever its nature is to feed itself, whether it's a omnivore or carnivore. Listen. An omnivore and a carnivore by nature is not a vegan.
I'm not talking about what's natural.
No, I'm talking about a pet who is not a vegan. You're saying that pet can eat vegan food.
And be healthy, yes.
Yes, but the question is that pet a vegan by default?
No.
So what you're doing is you're abusing its right to its natural. Now next time you'll be going, okay, let's feed the lions vegan food. Where does this stop? Where do you draw the line?
Do you think there's anything natural about having a dog in a house anyway?
You said not to harm any sentient being. By you giving vegan food to a dog who is not a vegan,
Yeah.
that's harming it.
There's no suffering caused. A dog in a Guinness Book of
No.
World Record. Wait, no.
The dog doesn't go by your principle. The dog has his own principle.
Let me finish. A dog who's in the Guinness Book of World Records being the longest living on a vegan diet. There are many dogs.
What does that prove?
It means they can.
So you're telling me,
survive
wait.
healthy.
Imagine there is a guy on the Guinness Books of Record and he's been smoking all his life.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you going to justify smoking based on that?
My point is.
No, answer my question.
No, look.
No, answer my question because you brought in the Guinness Books of
This is a
Record.
false equivalency. I can tell you why.
That's exactly what you're doing.
Let
You're
me-
saying one example.
let me respond then.
Wait. You said one example of a Guinness Books record.
Yeah.
Yes. Does that justify all the dogs and all the cats out there? They become vegans. Seriously.
So no, because some dogs can't be on a vegan diet. I understand that.
All dogs cannot be.
Some
Unless you orient them in such a fashion that you don't give them any meat at all and you only feed them. They will eat anything to survive. It's the survival of the fittest in that situation. So you're making their life such that they have no alternative but to eat whatever is available. However, if you gave that dog and a cat a food which is natural to it, then obviously it will go for something which is natural. So it'll go for meat. No, it's not. Because what you're saying, a pet surviving on a vegan diet is an exception. It's not the rule. And exceptions don't make the rule.
What I'm saying is that all we care about is the nutrition.
No. All you care about. Earlier you told me that.
Hypothetically.
Earlier you told me the animals don't speak to us, and now you're saying all we care about. So it became about you now, not the dog.
Look.
Sorry.
If you were to acknowledge, hypothetically, let's say hypothetically, because maybe neither of us don't know much about this in terms of what a dog can eat, what nutrients.
No, we know what a dog can eat. Come on, don't say neither of us don't know.
Look, if a dog could be healthy on a vegan diet, would you accept putting one on a vegan diet, or do you still think it's wrong?
I'm saying it's wrong because that's not his natural diet.
Look, there's a big difference between what's natural and what's moral.
Okay.
There are plenty of things that I could point out that are natural that you would say aren't moral.
No, we're talking about food. We're talking about basic stuff. I'm not talking about other things. I'm talking about basic
You don't
things.
eat a natural diet.
Okay.
Our ancestors ate insects. Do you eat insects?
No. Our ancestors
Right.
could have eaten raw meat. Okay?
Do you eat raw
They could
meat?
have eaten raw vegetables. Even you don't eat raw vegetables. I know that. Okay?
I'll have a raw carrot every now and then.
Yeah, a carrot is not the only vegetable out there.
I know.
Okay? So don't tell me what our ancestors used to eat and not eat. I'm saying generally the diet. For us, we are omnivores by nature.
Yeah.
Okay, nature has given us enzymes which can digest meat. Why do you think that is?
Sure.
Why do you think that
It
is?
aids our survival.
Yes. So nature has created that in such a way
Yeah.
that we are able to eat both diets.
Sure.
In order for humans to survive, like I said, our ancestors survived not because of vegan diet, but because of meat diet.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, or fish diet, or whatever diet it is.
Sure.
Yes. Like I said, even today, like in very very cold places in the north during the winter, they cannot survive on anything that is plant-based. They have to survive on meat.
But you don't.
I'm not saying me. I'm saying there are places in the world out
Okay.
there who.
That's
So,
irrelevant.
so what you're suggesting is everyone become vegan is impractical even today. Let alone our ancestors.
Look,
So in the case of animals,
No,
it's
you're
impractical.
confusing the definition
In the
of
case
vegan.
of humans, it's impractical. In the case of even our ancestors, it was.
Can I give you the definition of veganism?
I know what the definition of veganism.
What is it?
Okay, and look, for
Well, you
me,
don't then.
for me,
And
what-
even you
for
tell me
me,
what it is,
for
I
me,
won't tell
look,
you what it
one
is.
thing I've realized here is that what you kept saying is that according to us, when you said that, according to us with regards to the animals, the principle is according to what you want and not what the animal wants. You said they can survive on a vegan diet,
Yeah.
but I kept telling you that is not their natural diet.
I don't care what's natural. Let's just deal with what's.
If you don't care, why are we having this discussion? You know?
No, because there are plenty of things that are natural that we wouldn't see as moral today. Violence to other humans is natural. It's happened for thousands.
To me,
and
abortion
thousands
is
and
not.
thousands of years.
Abortion is violence.
Rape can be
but
seen as
what are you
natural.
doing
It's
about
happened
it?
for thousands
Nothing.
and thousands
You
and
could be
thousands of years.
you could be actively supporting.
It's not
supporting
moral,
a pro-life.
Look, the
principle.
obligation is to avoid causing suffering. It's not to do a morally virtuous thing to do. There are plenty of things I'm not doing that I could be doing to help others. Okay, but the fact is,
If that is the main thing to avoid
I'm-
suffering,
I'm
then
asking- I'm
don't
asking-
tell
I'm
an
asking-
animal
I'm asking-
can survive on a vegan diet when its nature is not vegan.
I don't care what's natural. Rape can be seen as natural. It's evolved.
Rape is
thousands-
natural to whom?
All
To
of
whom?
us, all of us.
Seriously, you know, this guy is really
Do you wanna-
lost it
Do
now.
you want to let me respond?
This is
Let me
called
respond.
fundamentalist
Let me
vegan.
respond. Let me respond. You ready? You ready?
Go
It's
on.
happened thousands and thousands and thousands of years in our evolutionary past. It spreads our genes through the gene pool. It happens among all of the animal kingdom. All of them.
Who considers rape as natural? Who does that?
Right, which point do you disagree with? Do you disagree with the fact it's happened thousands and thousands of years?
No, no. Tell me who considers rape as natural today.
Scientists.
Which scientist?
Evolutionary
Name me one.
scientist,
Name me
Richard
one.
Dawkins.
Richard, no, he says rape is natural. When was the last time Richard Dawkins had rape?
Had rape.
Yeah, he raped someone. Committed rape. Rape.
You
Sorry.
have to talk to the guy himself.
So don't
I
say it's
know.
natural, okay? That is rubbish.
What are you talking-
Only a fundamentalist will say it like that.
Well, clearly you don't. You don't.
Sorry?
I'm not saying it's moral. I'm saying it's.
I can't hear you.
natural.
Wait. What is it?
He's not saying it's moral.
No, he said it's natural.
Yes.
Despite the fact that it's natural, people don't do it because
Wait.
it's not
What do you?
moral.
When you say natural means what? It means it's something which is a norm. Like me,
So, wait.
eating food. That's natural.
So do you think that everything that
When you say rape is natural,
look?
means what?
Do you think that everything that is a norm is moral?
Everything that's a norm. What do you define norm?
It's the popular opinion that happens.
That's not norm. Who said that's norm?
Look, the majority of people agree with it.
Okay, I'll tell you what. When you consider norm, for example, in your tradition, it's okay to shake hand of the opposite gender. Perfectly normal, yes?
Yeah.
You go to another culture, for them even to touch an opposite gender is completely wrong.
So in
So
this-
what do you wait? What you consider as norm
In this society
might not
can
be
be
the norm in
different. I
another
know,
culture.
I know.
So that's why don't bring in subjective things.
But you're the one.
I'm
that
saying,
said
look,
let's-
animals by nature are not vegans. If you're going to
Some
impose, if you're going to impose a vegan diet on them, to me that is abuse. Now, whether you like it or not, that's not natural.
You can't have abuse without any exploitation or suffering.
Well, that is exploitation, if you ask me. That is exploitation.
You
If
want-
they are not vegan and you force them to become
You
vegan,
are forcing them
that
to
is
eat-
exploitation.
You are forcing them to eat whatever food you want anyway. They didn't choose which brand of dog food you got from
By the way,
Tesco.
I don't have pets, so don't say I. Okay, I'm saying those who have pets, yes, most of the people, they love the pets. That's the reason they keep pets. But if you're going to force them on a diet which is not natural to them, that is abuse.
I don't care what's
Then that is
natural.
exploitation.
I don't care what's natural. Do you eat milk? That's not natural.
To what?
Do you drink milk? That's not natural.
I drink milk, yeah.
Yeah, that's not natural.
Why did your mother produce milk if it wasn't natural?
Me eating human milk is natural, sure, but I'm talking about cow's milk.
I don't know about eating milk. I drink
Well,
milk,
you can
and
eat
you
it
drink
if you
milk.
put it in
Okay.
cheese, but you can drink it.
Now, look. Whether you like milk or not, that's different.
It's irrelevant
okay?
whether I like it.
But look, I've told you this from the very beginning. If you want to be a vegan, nothing wrong with that. Yes. If I want to be an omnivore,
There's a victim to your choice.
wait.
Someone is suffering
No.
and
You
dying
can
for you for an
wait.
unnecessary reason.
You can call it
They
victim.
are screaming
you can
in
call
gas
it,
chambers as we
you
speak.
Gas chambers.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
So the gold standard way for killing pigs in the UK and Australia.
They use gas chambers to kill goats here. Since
pigs.
when?
Pigs, I said.
I don't eat pig anyway.
Okay, well, the way we kill other animals are better.
Okay, look.
In the
I am against animal
you clearly
suffering.
don't know what's happening in the industry.
Listen,
so-
no, I do know.
No, because if you did, you'd be vegan.
the way
If you did, you'd be vegan.
the way they treat the animals in the animal industry, in the food industry here, is atrocious. I totally agree with that. Okay, what they're doing to the animals doesn't mean that everyone becomes vegan. Okay, if you use that line of argument, then yes, I can say you have some justification. But if you're just saying as a matter of principle, then you need to stick to the principle of the animals too, who are not vegans, but you're saying oh no, I'm going to feed them a vegan diet
Other animals-
because that is the way is my principle, so I'm going to impose it on these animals as well.
No,
that's wrong.
I care.
To me, that is abuse.
I care about the consciousness, sentient beings. I care about suffering. Okay.
So do they.
Yeah.
Do you think?
And me
Do you think a dog eating meat is thinking about what is nutritious for me, or it is
No,
thinking
they're
about
just eating-
the suffering
it's
according?
instinct.
Exactly. So why are you forcing it when by nature it's only going by its instinct? Why are you forcing it? I'm saying, why are you forcing it into a vegan diet?
Because I don't want to cause a.
Would you agree to a
Because I
vegan
don't-
diet for the
Dogs are
pets?
omnivores, and omnivores means that you can eat plants and you can eat meat. You don't have to eat both.
Yeah, but you cannot
You
say
can
don't
have
eat.
both.
But you
A
cannot tell them
dog-
don't eat meat at all.
Dogs are scavengers. They are opportunist eaters. They eat what they come across. Okay?
No, I'm talking about pets. I'm not talking about the
You're
dogs.
talking about
Which,
the dogs.
no, no.
The example
I'm talking
you
about pets.
used earlier.
The term I used was pets.
No, because you can't put every animal in the same box.
I'm talking about dogs and animals. Sorry, dogs and cats as
It's a very
pets.
different diet to a dog because a dog is an omnivore and a cat is a carnivore. You can't put them in
Okay.
the same.
So what would you
category.
feed your cat if you had a cat?
I don't have a cat, but if I had a cat, I might accept that I have to feed it some meat or some fish.
Thank you.
Because that is what they have to eat to survive.
Absolutely.
Yes, but we are
I totally agree
omnivores.
with you.
Dogs are omnivores.
That's
we
fine.
have a choice, and we
Yes.
have a moral obligation to make that choice, where it reduces the suffering and harm to animals.
If you give a dog a broccoli and a steak, what do you think it'll choose? If it's an omnivore, right?
We're
What
talking
do you think
about-
it'll choose?
we're
Wait,
talking
wait,
about
wait.
We're not
What do you
talking
think it'll
about
choose?
Giving them, it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, that's
Because you
not-
see,
no,
they have a
now you're
choice
talking about their
to
taste
that
pleasure.
diet.
Why does your
So
taste
she
pleasure
said,
matter
I
over
will
life of
feed a
an animal?
cat meat. You know? Where will you get your meat from?
This is
Wait,
irrelevant.
wait,
She hasn't
wait.
even got a cat.
Where will you get it meat
I
from?
don't have a cat. This is a completely.
Now they're getting defensive. Why?
We're talking about you.
Why you guys are
We're
getting
talking
defensive
about-
all of a
no,
sudden?
We're talking about you.
Point.
How do you?
Are you?
Irrelevant
No, it's not irrelevant. This
conversation,
is this is something very real in our real world. There are people who have cats and dogs as pets.
You're saying
If
that
you have a
there are
cat as a
some-
pet, where do you think you'll get your meat from? Will you go hunting,
saying-
or will you go to the same supermarket that I go to?
You're saying that
I rest my
because-
case.
you're
Wait, wait.
saying that
Look, I
because
wouldn't
you
get a
Take care,
cat.
guys.
I wouldn't get a cat.
You're getting defensive now. That's
How,
all.
wait, no, listen to me. Listen to me.
I listened to you already.
How
I
do
need
you-
to go get a coffee. if you
How
don't
do
mind.
you? How do you morally?